Mike Bland with LAPD's
All right, we're going to take
Media
you out to the scene of
Relations
breaking news. LAPD pursuit of a stolen car ends in a shootout. Officer injured, suspected driver injured. Let's listen in.
Right behind us here in LAPD's Hollenbeck Division. Just keep in mind, this is all preliminary information. As our Force Investigation Division team is here handling the officer-involved shooting, and Robbery Homicide Division is here, and they're handling the assault on our officers. So again, I'll bring up Chief McDonnell, but again, this is all preliminary information. Chief?
Well, thank you, and thank you all for being here this afternoon. Just after 2 o'clock this afternoon, we had a pursuit initiated after Newton area officers spotted a man with a gun in a vehicle. They tried to stop the vehicle. The suspect then fled, and a pursuit ensued. The pursuit started at Washington and Alameda and ended up here, right down the street behind me at Garnett and Marietta in Hollenbeck Division. The suspect crashed into a fence right adjacent to the freeway here, got out of the vehicle and ran. Responding officers were closing in on him at that point. Suspect got out. As he was running, he was firing on the officers. One officer was struck in the chest at least once. Thankfully, he had a ballistic vest on, which saved his life. The suspect continued to fire at officers. Multiple officers fired at him. A suspect was shot. LA Fire Department responded, treated the suspect at scene, and transported him to a local hospital where he's currently in critical condition in surgery. Our officer, thankfully, has been evaluated at the hospital, but it looks at this point like he's going to be okay. So we're very, very thankful. Looking at the suspect's actions, he was firing that gun. Anybody in the community could have been taken out by his actions. So we're very thankful that we ended up in the situation we did. Our officer put everything on the line to try and take this suspect into custody, supported by other officers from Newton and Hollenbeck Division. And we're very, very fortunate to have the end like this with the officer in the condition he's in. So thank you. Let me open it up. We did recover a gun at the scene right where the suspect went down. That's being processed. The scene is being processed by both Force Investigation Division and Robbery Homicide Division. Let me open it up. Any questions? Yeah, I can't tell you how many shots were fired. There's a lot of casings out there. I don't know how many at this point. It's very preliminary yet. Suspect, from what I saw in a video, he fired first. Yeah.
What about officers?
Yeah, we'll determine that as we go through the investigation. A whole lot of interviews to be conducted of officers, of witnesses, of people in the environment, and as you can imagine, all the camera feeds that we'll have available from Ring doorbells and businesses, freeway, and all the officers' in-car video and body-worn camera.
Why do we think he got bailed out of the car? Was he surrounded at that point and had been basically blocked from moving any further?
No, he crashed into, he should have taken a turn to the left to be able to continue the pursuit. He went straight into the fence right next to the freeway here. And so he crashed is basically why he bailed.
How many officers were on him at that point?
There were probably 3 to 4 cars responding then very shortly after he hit the fence.
Just a few seconds after they told him to drop it. Stop,
yeah,
don't.
repeatedly. And he chose not to do that. Yeah. Yeah, we still we have to get a positive ID on the suspect. He was transported. He's in surgery, as I mentioned. From what we do know, he's a male adult, Hispanic, probably mid-30s. The officers observed the gun, I believe, from what we know at this point, on the suspect in the vehicle. So that's why they tried to stop him, to protect the community, and the suspect fled.
You bet the pickup truck was stolen?
I'm sorry?
Was it a stolen vehicle?
I don't know that yet. Yeah, I don't have that yet. Yeah. Somebody else said I can't hear you. It's a handgun. It's a handgun, semi-auto handgun. All right.
Officers just happened to see a person when he put that in the car. It wasn't like no involved.
From what I understand at this point, it was not as a result of a radio call. It was an observation by the officers of the suspect at that scene, Washington and Alameda, roughly.
And
The officer is expected to be okay. Right, exactly. Going there right now. Yep. Oh, you can imagine, you know, when you get we were in a police commission meeting, got the word that there was an officer-involved shooting and an officer had been shot. No details at that time, very, very early. So certainly, you know, you can imagine, you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach, worried, you know, hoping for the best, but worried that it might be the worst. So we were thankful to get the news we did when we got it. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll take one more question because I got to get the chief to the hospital. Anybody else? One more.
In the area that we were in, we're just by a busy freeway interchange. We're in a neighborhood. There's so many people out and about.
Yeah, a lot. This is a residential community, a very stable community, one where you have people who've been living here for many, many years, and young kids as well. So for the suspect to get out of the vehicle and engage in the behavior he did, he literally could have taken anybody out on the street at that time. So we're very thankful the outcome was what it was. Yeah, we can't say enough for that. Yeah, that saved his life. The placement of the shot would indicate that in all likelihood it could have been a very serious or fatal shot. So we're as thankful as we can be tonight. Thank you all very much.
Thank you all. I have Lieutenant Elpidio Orozco here for Spanish media outlets, and then if you need anything else, we'll stand by.
All right, we've been listening to LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell talking about this shootout in Boyle Heights this afternoon. In fact, he said he's on his way to the hospital right now to visit with an LAPD officer who amazingly in the shootout was hit, but hit in his vest. According to the chief, he's going to be okay. The suspect wanted, he said initially that officers just noticed him in the car with a gun.
Yeah, this was in the Newton division. They said he noticed him with the gun in the car, and they started chasing them all the way to the Boyle Heights area, the Hollenbeck division. That is where you see that video there. That is where the suspect crashed his truck on the side of the freeway. Then Colleen, the chief, said that the suspect got out and immediately opened fire at officers. Yeah,
he turned back and officers returned fire. Somehow in that gun battle there, one of the officers, as we said, was hit in the chest. He was wearing, fortunately, a bulletproof vest. He's at the hospital. Chief's on his way there to visit him now. He's going to be okay. The suspect, however, in critical condition, trying to get more information on all of this. And as soon as we do, we will bring it to you.